Have you ever wondered why the harder you try to control life, the more it slips from your hands? You plan, you hope, you build expectations, and yet reality bends to no one's will. It crushes your plans without mercy, as if mocking your effort to tame it. That's when frustration poisons your peace. You start believing that you've lost control. But the truth is you never had it. There's a brutal Stoic truth hidden here, one that most people spend their entire lives trying to escape. You control nothing but your mind. That's it. Nothing more. Everything else, the opinions of others, the actions of friends, the turns of fate, are all beyond your grasp. But most people refuse to accept this truth because it destroys the illusion that the world revolves around their will. Epictetus once said, "Some things are in our control and others are not." These words, simple as they sound, are a test of your sanity. Because when you finally accept that your power ends where your mind begins, you start to see how free you truly are. Imagine this. You lose your job, your friends turn distant, the world feels like it's collapsing. But if your mind stands still, untouched, your world still belongs to you. You can't stop the storm, but you can learn to breathe calmly within it, and that's where real strength begins. We live in a time where people chase control like a drug, control over others, over outcomes, over the future. When you release the illusion of control, something remarkable happens. You stop fighting the flow of life. You stop screaming at the storm and start moving with it. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. The wisdom to separate what belongs to fate from what belongs to fate from what belongs to you. Think of your mind as a fortress. Outside its walls, chaos roars. Inside, peace waits. Every time you let your emotions be dragged by what you can't change, you open the gates and invite the enemy in. But when you guard your mind, when you say, "This is mine and nothing else," you become unbreakable. This truth is not gentle. It will cut through your ego like a blade. But only through that cut does clarity bleed through. Because the world will never obey you. People will betray you. Time will erase what you build. Yet none of it can touch your inner kingdom unless you hand them the key. The Stoics didn't escape pain. They mastered perception. They realized that peace is not found in controlling life, but in controlling your response to it. The next time something doesn't go your way, remember this. The problem isn't the event. It's your attachment to how it should have gone. So stop demanding that life kneel before your expectations. Instead, learn to kneel before truth. The truth that your only real power lies within your thoughts, your reactions, your discipline. Once you internalize that, you stop being a puppet of circumstance and start being the master of your own fate. This is the first brutal Stoic truth. You control nothing but your mind. And when you finally accept that, you'll experience something extraordinary, not weakness, not defeat, but freedom. Why do we run from pain as if it were a monster stalking us in the dark? Every time discomfort touches us, we hide, we complain, we numb ourselves with distractions. But what if pain wasn't your enemy at all? What if it was the only thing capable of showing you who you truly are? There's a brutal Stoic truth that few are willing to face. Pain is the teacher life sends when you refuse to learn. When everything is easy, you grow soft. Your mind becomes fragile, your emotions weak. But the moment life takes something from you, your comfort, your peace, your illusion of control, it's inviting you to evolve. The Stoics didn't pray for an easy life. They prayed for the strength to endure a hard one. Because strength born from struggle lasts longer than happiness born from comfort. Think about the moments that shaped you the most. Were they the joyful ones, or were they the nights when you thought you'd never make it through, and yet somehow you did? Those moments carved you into who you are now. They didn't destroy you, they sculpted you. Seneca once said, "A fire tests gold, adversity tests the brave." Pain is that fire. It burns away the weak parts of you. The pride, the impatience, the fear, and what remains is something indestructible. The more you resist pain, the more it grows. But when you turn and face it, you realize it's not there to harm you. It's there to awaken you. We live in a world that teaches avoidance. Feel sad, distract yourself, feel lost, scroll away the feeling. But Stoicism teaches confrontation. To sit in the pain, to listen to it, to let it reveal what you've been avoiding. Because buried inside every pain is a truth you need to face. When you stop running from your suffering, it becomes your ally. It toughens your spirit, refines your focus, and silences your ego. It forces you to look inward, to build from the ruins instead of weeping over them. You can't become disciplined without discomfort. You can't build wisdom without wounds. Pain is the bridge between who you are and who you must become. And if you walk across it willingly, you'll never fear life again. The Stoics didn't see pain as punishment, they saw it as preparation. Marcus Aurelius endured betrayal, illness, and loss, yet he never cursed his fate. Instead, he said, if it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. Because every hardship, no matter how cruel, carries within it a hidden lesson. So the next time life breaks you, don't ask why me? Ask what is this trying to teach me? Let your suffering forge you, not shatter you. Let your scars become symbols of survival, not reminders of defeat. Because pain doesn't come to stay, it comes to shape. And if you let it do its work, it will leave behind something unbreakable. You ever felt betrayed by someone who didn't meet your expectation? You gave your time, your loyalty, your heart. And when they didn't return it the way you hoped, anger took root. You told yourself you deserved better, that they owed you something. But here lies the next brutal Stoic truth. No one owes you anything. It's a harsh pill to swallow, isn't it? Because your mind wants to believe that kindness should be repaid, that love should be returned, that effort should be recognized. Yet the universe never made that promise to you. People act according to who they are, not who you expect them to be. Epictetus once said, don't expect people to behave as you wish them to, but as they are. When you base your peace on how others treat you, you hand them power over your emotions. Every disappointment, every unmet expectation becomes a chain around your mind. And soon you're not living freely, you're living in reaction. The Stoics understood that entitlement is the root of misery. The belief that the world owes you fairness, that others owe you loyalty, that life owes you comfort, these illusions destroy peace. 'Cause life doesn't deal in fairness, it deals in reality. When you realize that no one owes you kindness, every act of it becomes a gift. When you stop expecting praise, every bit of it becomes a blessing. Gratitude grows only when expectation dies. And that shift, from entitlement to acceptance, transforms everything. You stop resenting others for being human. You stop chasing validation from people who can't even find it within themselves. Virtue becomes its own payment. Integrity becomes its own peace. Imagine how light your soul would feel if you stopped waiting for apologies, for recognition, for the world to notice you. You'd finally be free from bitterness, free from disappointment. Free from the illusion that you're owed anything beyond what you earn with your own discipline and mind. The truth is, the world doesn't owe you happiness, it owes you nothing. But you owe yourself everything. You owe yourself growth, patience, strength, and peace. You owe yourself the courage to rise even when no one claps for you. So stop expecting life to give you what you think you deserve. Start earning peace through acceptance. Start walking through the world with open hands instead of clenched fists. Because once you stop demanding from others, you begin receiving from within. And that's the paradox of Stoicism. When you stop expecting, you start living. When you stop chasing fairness, you find freedom. And when you stop believing that anyone owes you something, you finally owe yourself everything. Why do we let our emotions rule us like kings when they were only meant to serve? One moment you feel powerful, the next you're broken, all because of feelings that shift like waves in the wind. Anger, fear, jealousy, pride. They rise, they burn, and they fade, yet we build our entire lives around them. But here lies the next brutal Stoic truth. You are not your emotions, you are their observer. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. But most people never do. They let their emotions drive their thoughts, and their thoughts drive their destruction. The Stoics believed emotions were like wild horses, powerful but dangerous. If you learn to guide them, they'll carry you forward. But if you let them lead, they'll drag you into the dirt. Every time you explode in anger, every time you sink in fear, you surrender the throne of your own mind. You let temporary storms define your permanent reality. Think about it. How many decisions have you made in anger that you later regretted? How many times have you let sadness convince you that your life was meaningless, only to wake up and realize it wasn't? That's the cost of emotional slavery. When you let feelings take command, reason becomes a prisoner. But Stoicism teaches a different way. Not suppression, but control. The goal isn't to kill your emotions, it's to command them. You acknowledge the anger, but don't act from it. You feel the pain, but don't drown in it. Can't drown in it. You observe the chaos, but stay centered within it. That's power. Quiet, disciplined power. When life strikes you, emotions will come. The Stoics didn't deny that. They felt the same human storms, but they refused to let them sink the ship. They practiced a sacred pause, that brief space between stimulus and response. In that space lies your freedom. You can choose to react blindly or respond wisely. You can choose to be a victim of emotion or a master of awareness. Imagine your emotions as guests knocking on the door of your mind. Some bring warmth, others bring chaos, but remember, you are the one who decides who gets to stay. Let anger knock, let fear whisper, let sadness weep, but don't hand them the keys to your peace. When you master your emotions, you master your destiny. Because every outburst, every panic, every tear that blinds your reason steals a piece of your strength. But every calm breath in chaos rebuilds it. The world belongs to those who stay unmoved while everything around them burns. Not cold, not heartless, just aware, just in control. This is the essence of Stoic power. Not the absence of feeling, but the presence of discipline. When emotion knocks, let reason answer the door. Why do we crave to be seen, praised, remembered? Why do we build our worth on how others perceive us? The fifth brutal Stoic truth strikes at the heart of this illusion. Your ego is your cage. Ego is the voice that whispers you're special, that you're above failure, that you deserve more. But the Stoics saw ego for what it truly is, a fragile illusion built to protect fear. Every time you chase validation, you feed your ego, and every time the world denies it, your peace shatters. Marcus Aurelius ruled the Roman Empire, the most powerful man on earth. Yet he reminded himself daily, you could die tomorrow. You're just a man, nothing more. That's humility. Power without pride. Ego wants control. It wants praise. It wants to be right, even when it's wrong. But wisdom demands the opposite, to surrender the need to prove and to serve truth instead. When you let your ego lead, you become a slave to opinions. When you silence it, you become untouchable. The Stoic mind doesn't crave to be admired. It craves to be aligned. With reason, with virtue, with reality. Because when the applause fades, when the crowd forgets your name, all that remains is the kind of person you became while no one was watching. Humility isn't weakness, it's clarity, the understanding that greatness isn't about being above others, it's about mastering yourself. Section 6. Time is the most ruthless teacher. How much time have you already lost chasing things that never truly matter? We act like we have forever, but every second is slipping away, quietly, mercilessly. This is the sixth brutal Stoic truth. You are dying every day. It's not poetic, it's mathematical. Time doesn't stop for your plans, your dreams, or your regrets. It only moves forward. It only moves forward. The Stoics didn't talk about death to sound dark. They did it to awaken the living. Seneca said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." We scroll through our days, drift through our moments, and call it life. But when you finally realize that your time is your only true possession, you start treating it like gold. Stop waiting for perfect moments. There are none. Stop waiting for motivation. It fades. Stop waiting for the right time. It doesn't exist. The Stoic way is to act now. To live today as if tomorrow were a myth. Because one day it will be. You cannot control how much time you have left, but you can control how deeply you live the time you have. Every sunrise is a silent reminder that you're running out of chances. To love, to grow, to forgive, to become. So don't waste your life replaying the past or fearing the future. Focus on this breath, this hour, this decision. Because one day that's all you'll have left. And it will be enough if you lived it well. Section 7. Freedom lies in acceptance. And now the final truth. The one that ties them all together. You will only be free when you stop resisting what is. Every Stoic truth leads here to acceptance. Not passive surrender, but powerful awareness. You accept that you control only your mind. You accept that pain will visit you. You accept that people owe you nothing. That emotions must serve, not rule. That ego must die. That time must pass. And in that acceptance, you awaken. Acceptance doesn't mean you stop caring, it means you stop clinging. It means you face the storm with open eyes and a calm soul whispering, if this too is life. When you accept, you become untouchable. Because nothing the world throws at you can shake the foundation you've built within. You stop living in resistance and start living in rhythm, flowing, adapting, enduring. That is the essence of Stoicism. Not detachment, but alignment. The realization that peace isn't found by escaping chaos, but by mastering yourself within it. The Stoics never promised happiness. They promised strength. They promised freedom, the kind that comes when nothing external can enslave your inner world. So if you wish to rewire your mind, start here. Let go of control. Embrace pain. Expect nothing. Command emotion. Kill the ego. Cherish time and accept reality. Then, and only then, will you understand what the Stoics meant when they said, no man is free who is not master of himself. And when you reach that point, you won't just survive life, you'll transcend it